Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with IONCINEMA, here to review Wander Darkly, the fourth film directed by Miele, which premiered in competition at the 2020 Sundance Film Festival and is being released in select theaters and online December 11th, 2020, courtesy of Lionsgate, for which Sienna Miller and Diego Luna, the leads of the film, are being groomed for Oscar consideration. The film is partially autobiographical, based on one of the director's own experiences surviving a major car crash. It opens upon Adrian and Matteo, played by Miller and Luna, of course, who are a couple that are kind of on a tenuous precipice. They have a newborn child, they're not married, they've just gotten out of escrow on a new home, but they aren't as happy as they used to be. Night out on the town, on a date night, which they have exchanged barbs about how this is a cheap way to undergo the therapy that they probably need to be engaging in, ends with Adrian questioning if they're happy and why they're together in the first place, and which kind of causes Matteo not to pay attention and veer off into traffic into a major accident. And then we're treated to seeing Adrian have an out-of-body experience at the hospital, and we are led to believe that she is dead, or she believes she's dead, and yet is potentially caught in some kind of purgatory, whether it's emotional, whether it's metaphorical, whether she or not she's really dead. You'll have to decide as we go on a journey through her shared memories with Matteo along for the ride, and it's told in a non-linear pattern, and we're visiting all kinds of different notable and some not so notable moments from their shared relationship together, and as they're unfolding, they're also talking to each other as if they have moved beyond that point and are commenting on what were the ramifications of what was happening at that moment in time. So, and of course there's a big reveal that I won't ruin, but there's a lot going on here that'll remind you of other films, such as Michel Gondry's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Vadim Perelman had a film back in 2007 that came to be called The Life Before Her Eyes, with Evan Rachel Wood and Uma Thurman, which kind of has a similar plot twist, but also plays with this notion of memory and unraveling and the aftershocks of trauma that resonates, sometimes for years later. There's a Michael Almereyda film called Marjorie Prime from 2017 that I thought was a very classy kind of science fiction take on what's happening ostensibly in this moment as well. That said, Sienna Miller, I think, does a fine job of navigating a wide range of emotions, sometimes back-to-back in certain scenes that also have a genre-tinged flair to them, although anybody that describes this as a genre film of any kind is fibbing, but it does have play with some elements that of course come to be explained away. That said, I felt very cold towards Adrian as a character, and although there are some very authentic human moments in Wander Darkly, the poignancy I think is kind of missing where we should be feeling more than we do for this couple, and I kept wondering if perhaps we had seen them for a little bit longer before the accident happens at the beginning, because we meet them at a very low, unstable point, and I think if we had seen kind of some peaks they'd already navigated, revisiting all these memories, perhaps even repeated ones with different interpretations from either of them, would have had a more lasting kind of effect. There's an interesting supporting cast in here. SNL is Vanessa Bayer, Tory Kittles, Beth Grant, a character actress that I smile every time I see her because of films like Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, and Donnie Darko. I think that she's an oddly written character as a emotionally estranged mother to Adrian that I think was supposed to have commentary about Adrian's character development that maybe got lost somewhere in there. But still always enjoyable to see. Sienna Miller also, everybody always talks about how she's not often a lead and she kind of fades into the background. She's been a lead a few times before. Steve Buscemi's Interview, I think, is probably, to me, that's her shining hour. It's from 2007. She was also in Jake Scott's American Woman, which could have been called Hillbilly Elegy, I think. But she can carry a film, and I think she does a fine job here. I think Diego Luna felt a little underutilized, but he's used in a way that I don't think many people will have seen him in before, but fine as support to her character, I think. Alex Wheaton's score, some heavy lifting, but otherwise I thought it was nice and fitting. It was shot by Carolyn Costa, who I liked that cinematographer's work on Crystal Swan in 2018, which is set in 1990s Belarus. But I think the editing has a lot to do with the success of any kind of cohesiveness and compelling engagement with the story, because there's a lot of repetition in the third and top of the fourth act. But Tamara, Meem, and Alex O'Flynn, Meem edited Sound of My Voice, and O'Flynn has The Rider and The Girl Walks Home Alone at Night on their resumes. And those are three fantastic indie films over the past decade. And I think the work here might get lost in superficiality about how we're trying to interpret what's going on, but otherwise it's fantastic work. I would give Wander Darkly 3 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.